Hello, and welcome to a demonstration on how to enter practicum or clinical attendance in SAS. And this is when all of the students in the class are doing the same thing at the same time. Okay, so log into SAS. Under Student Admin, Add, Edit, Display Attendance, or under Program Admin, Add, Edit, Display Attendance. That takes you to the screen. We don't enter attendance at the course level, we enter it at the program level. So you go in here, enter attendance. That takes you to a screen that shows you all of the programs that you are set up to be instructing in SAS. If you find that you are missing a program that you're instructing, contact the system administrator. You can always click on this here, and this is the person you're going to contact, whoever's listed up here. Okay, you would not contact this person down here as an instructor because he can't help you. He's the programmer who builds the system. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use for our example. Now, when you click on that, you're going to see 7 days, which is your current week from Sunday to Saturday, and it shows up from Monday morning until midnight, around midnight on Sunday night, so you have lots of time to enter this. Okay, so Monday morning your next week attendance is going to show up, and it's going to stay there until Sunday night. Okay, now you do have to enter something for every one of these days, even if you do not have classes. This is the only way that SAS knows when they have classes, when they don't have classes. We need to differentiate between attendance that just wasn't entered and a day when there was no class. So that's why we need you to go in and do it. But it's super easy. So we're going to say, notice that it always says what day of the week it is. So this is Sunday, February 5th. There were no classes. And then just scroll down and click Submit. So that's all you have to do to say there was no class that day. It's not particularly time-consuming to do. Now, for our example, on Monday, the 6th of February, we're going to say that our 3 students, Wilma, Betty, and Bam Bam, everyone in the class, was in clinical. Okay? So the first thing you have to do is say how many hours was their clinical. And for this example, I'm going to say it was a 6-hour clinical. Now, that will auto-populate the expected hours when you click Submit. Now you have to say how many hours the students were actually in class. If everyone was there for the whole time, no one was late, no one left early, you can say all students had perfect attendance. That will populate this with the same number as the expected hours. And then you have to tell SAS that these were clinical hours. The default, if you don't click anything here, is SAS will assume they're regular classroom hours. So if it's clinical or preceptorship or a practicum, you need to go that extra step and tell SAS that those were clinical hours. Okay, now if I hit Submit, let me go back and have a look at it. You will see this has disappeared, but that's okay because you can see that these expected hours have all filled in. The all students have perfect attendance has disappeared, but that's okay because you can see that the actual hours is all filled in. The clinical hours here has disappeared, but that's okay because you can see that the clinical has been checked as a yes. So whatever these buttons are up here, they are just populated until you hit the Submit button, and then they clear. But that's okay. Don't let that panic you. Just have a look down here and make sure that your information is correct. So now let's say the next day, again, we're going to say that it was clinical and it was 6 hours. First of all, if there's any notes about it up here that apply to everyone in the class, this is where you would put a note. For example, a snow day that might have changed the hours, don't know. You could put anything up there that you think should be noted about everyone in the class. Now, if there's something about a particular person, you can put that down here. So for this example, we're going to say it was a 6-hour clinical class, so 6 hours of clinical. But in this example, we'll say, now I have to delete the 0 and put in a 6. Wilma was there for 6 hours, and Betty was there for 6 hours, but Bam Bam was only there for 5 hours. You can put a note there that applies just to Bam Bam. Okay, so the 6 expected hours, oopsies, that's going to populate here. You've got the actual hours here. The clinical hours is going to populate here. Okay, so your note about the period stays up here. These disappear, but that's okay because they've already done their job. They've populated the expected hours here and the clinical hours here. The stuff you actually entered is here, and your note is here. Okay. Now, this probably won't surprise you. Now we're going to try a totally different example. Let's say you were entering something for, you were saying that students are on a practicum. A lot of it's going to be identical. A note about that applies to everyone can go here. Let's say the practicum is 8 hours long. You're going to click Practicum Hours here. You're going to put their actual hours down here. If everyone had 8 hours exactly, you could do all students had perfect attendance. We're going to say Wilma was perfect. This time, Betty had a little problem. Let's say she was 15 minutes late. Oh, come on. So, notice that I've got 7.75. This is expecting in hours using a decimal. And do your attendance in 15-minute increments. So if someone is 15 minutes late, it's 7.75. If they're half an hour, if they missed half an hour, it would be 7.3. Okay? And then here's another little shortcut. If you click in the box before in tab, then you can replace a little easier than doing the backspacing and so on with the decimals. Okay, so expected hours is going to populate when you hit save or when you hit submit because it's up here. The practicum hours is going to submit because you've got that there, or that's going to fill in Y's here. So once I click submit, go back in and have a look. Now, again, this disappears, but that's fine. It's already done its job by filling in the expected hours down here. The practicum hours disappears, but that's okay because it's already done its job by filling in here, and the actual hours you entered are right there. Okay, so now we're going to enter this next one. And notice that I'm just using the back button to come back to this. The back button usually works well in SAS. Okay, so now this example is going to be a preceptorship. Okay, now most of the time when your students are on preceptorship, their schedules are all different. They're doing different things on different days. This example would only be if everyone's doing the same thing on the same day. So it might be an preceptorship orientation or something. I will show you how to manage when students are doing different things on the same day in the next demonstration. Okay, so let's say it's the 12-hour preceptorship and every student has their preceptorship this day. Okay, again, this won't be a surprise. You click preceptorship, that's what is going to tell SAS. The 12 expected hours are going to go in here. The preceptorship, the Y for preceptorship is going to go in here to tell you it's preceptorship hours. Then you're going to enter your actual hours here. If everyone did all 12 hours, if you click on all students had perfect attendance, it would auto-populate this with 12. Now, I'm going to say that they almost all did 12. So if Wilma did 12, notice I clicked in this box, hit tab, now I can just enter 12. If I click in this box, hit 12, I'm going to say something bad happened with Wilma's bus and didn't get there. Now, we only have 3 decimal points, so if it's 11.75, do 11.7 or 11.8, okay? And most of the time, we don't have students doing more than 9 hours in a row, but with the preceptorships we do. Okay, and Bam Bam will say he was there for the whole time. Okay, so we've told what the actual hours are. We've told what kind of hours, preceptorship. We've told it how many the expected hours are. If we hit submit, and we go back in, we're going to see, oh, I went into the wrong day. There you go. We've got the indicator that's preceptorship hours, and we've got the actual hours. Okay? And again, if there was no class on a particular day, that's fine. No classes. There you go. So thank you for the demonstration on how to indicate when it is a clinical preceptorship or practicum. Now, if this only applies when all of the students in the class are doing the same thing on the same day. If you've got students doing different things on the same day, you need to see that example. This can capture it. You just need to do it a slightly different way. Thank you.